Good morning again, Real Moms. Okay, so I promised that today I would say a little bit more about the intermittent fasting plan and some of the specific details pertaining to it. And I really appreciated all your comments on it yesterday. I have actually ordered a book, which should be here any day, because I feel like I need more information about it myself. And that Delay, Don't Deny book is on my list. That's not the one I ordered, but so I'm excited to learn more about it because as the dietitian taught us about it, I had a lot of additional questions. So now's the time because I'm not in her program anymore and I need to empower myself. I also realized in this video that it's hard for me to make a video sitting down. I thought I'll come out on my porch and just sit here and drink my coffee, and I realized the limitations of not being able to move my body and use my hands. So weird. I don't know. I didn't realize how much of a hand talker mover I am. So I'm just getting ready for work and thought I would just say a couple of things about the specifics of the intermittent fasting process that I personally followed based on what the dietitian and coach guided us to do. So the first thing I'll say, I'm going to go through 5-6 specific kind of details about this. And they're about, not just about what you eat or whatever. It's not really even about that. It's about how you do it. So the first thing is you need to have a plan, right? So what I have found to make intermittent fasting successful for me is that I have a plan every single day for what I'm going to eat and when I'm going to eat. And on the days where I don't have a plan because maybe I don't have the leftovers I thought I would have, or maybe I just haven't had time, that's when it definitely falls apart for me. When I have a plan, and that's just how I personally am built, I need a plan for everything, which can be a downfall at times. But if I have a plan, I am far more successful, and not just a plan of what I'm going to eat, but when I'm going to eat it. So I get down to the letter of what hour I'm going to start eating, what I'm going to eat at that point, what I might have for a snack. I am less successful when I plan my snacks, and I can say more about that later. When I'm going to eat dinner, what I'm going to eat. It doesn't always work perfectly, but I start with a plan in mind. So that's thing one. Thing two, define the hours, but they don't have to be the same every single day. So I tend to gravitate to the noon to 8 window, and the 8-hour window is what works best for me. I saw Danielle posted about a potential 5-hour window, and I can honestly say I don't ever think I would be able to get all my macronutrients in and all the calories I need to eat in 5 hours. And if I tried, I'd probably just end up eating chips. And that's probably just an excuse, but I don't ever think I'll be able to do a 5-hour window. And I don't ever think for me this is going to be about being as restrictive as possible. It is about having an attainable structure that can somewhat mirror my family's eating structure day to day. With the goal being, here's the next thing, that each day is as long as you can stretch it, right? So if you can stretch it to have a 5-hour eating window where you start eating at 2 and you finish at 7 or 8, great. And there are days where that happens for me, but my goal is always, and pretty much my kind of general goal is an 8-hour eating window with 16 hours in between. And so for me, that feels really attainable. I get up, I don't eat breakfast. I used to get up and eat within an hour or two because generally I'm starving. I feel quite hungry when I get up. I've gotten over that. I've gotten over it. I've just mentally over months gotten over the fact that I'm not going to eat right when I get up. So the goal is just longer equals better. And the coach that we went through this program with talked a lot about the process of autophagy, which is where it allows your cells to repair and heal, and that only happens in a fasted state, I guess. And that's some of the science part of this that I have to learn more about, and as a nurse I should probably know about, but that was happening at Bloomsburg University many years ago, so I don't really remember that part. But that's part of the reason why you go longer and longer. It's not for this kind of restrictive eat as little as you can, because part of what this coach taught us is you still need to get all your macronutrients in your window, which are a very specified quantity of protein, carbs, fat, calories, etc. So that will be another day to talk about that. But so this isn't about being as restrictive as possible. It is about stretching that window as long as you can. I am never going to be someone who can like absolutely starve myself about this stuff. Like, I'm just not. And I appreciated what Danielle said yesterday about like setting a good example for our kids. And I too have been able to like spend days eating lunch with my kids, dinner with my kids. And so what I don't want is them to see like that I never eat. I do want them to see that I change my habits, that I'm trying to do something differently. They know I have chronic GI issues, so I want them to see that I'm trying to manage that without like running to a doctor and getting a bajillion tests and, you know, calling off work. So that's how I frame it for them, is that this is about my health and that it's actually good for them at times to not like be eating like Doritos at 10 at night. And yes, sometimes that happens. I'm just being real moms here. So that's how I'm framing it for them, but that this is not about starvation. And then the final thing I want to say about kind of just the overall process about this is that it really comes back to something is better than nothing. And this was probably one of the biggest things I learned from our coach, which is that people tend to like give up. If they're like, if I can't do it, I'm just not going to do it at all. And what I've learned is that if I can fast like this 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week, that is way better than not doing it at all. And so this idea of like my type A mindset of like, I got to do it perfectly won't fit, because then I can't do it at all. I'm going to do it on the days I can, when I can, as long as I can. And on certain days it doesn't work, I'm really going to relinquish beating myself up about it. And I have. So that's what feels good about it. Couple of other things. How do I break my fast? So right now, this morning, like I had some coffee, black coffee. I have weird little rules for myself about when I have black coffee and when I put stuff in it. But when you put anything in it, anything more than 30 calories will break your fast, as I've learned. So like some of the like nut pods and stuff that I've mentioned, they're 10 calories a tablespoon. 1 tablespoon is like peeing in the ocean. So I usually use 3 or 4, but I spread it out over a few hours when I drink it. So I don't break my fast by having just black coffee or just a little of that, water. And then through the morning, having a lot of water. If I'm feeling really hungry, I usually have an electrolyte drink. Those are those Noon tabs I talked about, NUUN. You can get them on Amazon. I haven't tried a whole gamut of electrolytes, but those are the ones I seem to like. I've tried a couple previously. And another thing you can use to hold out your fast, but feel sated a little bit, is bone broth. Now, you can buy commercial bone broth, and I struggle to find a commercial bone broth that I really like. But that's another thing. If it's under 30 calories, it will help you maintain your fast, but it does give you some protein and fat, so it makes you feel full. And then the final thing that I find is really effective is a pickle, which is weird. And then I get into this weird thing, like, am I doing some weird kind of like diet crap where I'm eating a pickle at 9 a.m.? Like, I'm not into weird diets, but it really does help. And it helps you just stave it off for a few more hours. That's how I get through it. I just put on these shorts today for the first time since last summer, and I'm excited to tell you guys more about the results tomorrow, because I keep noticing results that are here, all over, in there. Okay, that's my Real Mom Wellness stuff for today. I have other ideas to talk about meal planning, breaking your fast, how to manage it in that 8-hour eating window. So comment on this, and I'm happy to share more experiences with you. And I love that some of you have done it, so please share yours too. Feel free to make your own video and post it. Would love to see it. Okay, have a great Friday and see you soon.